First impressions count. But instead of worrying like, how can I make them like me? What if they like me? What if they don't like me? We should be asking ourselves, how can we ensure that they see the real me? Like, how can I make sure that I am just putting my best self across? Not only my best self, but my most authentic self, just who I am. So whether it's speed dating, a blind date, or first meeting from a dating app, first impressions count. But not in the impress them with your highlight reel kind of way. We're talking about genuine first encounters and how to put your best foot forward. So be present, be prepared, and be rooted in who you are, in your faith and in your purpose. In this video, I'm hopefully going to give you practical tips for making a great first impression without pretending to be someone that you're not. Earlier this year, I went on my first ever blind date. And actually, I thought he had stood me up because this is the problem with chains that have multiple venues. But when I arrived, he wasn't there and I was running 5 minutes late. So I was really like, oh dear, expecting to see him at the table and he wasn't there. So I was freaking out, but also trying to keep my composure and act very cool and, just like, oh, this is fine. I'll just be very present. I'm not even gonna look on my phone. I'm just gonna sit. And it ended up being a pretty good date. I didn't overthink it. We didn't force conversation. I prayed a very quick, come Holy Spirit on my drive there. And I wore an outfit that felt like me, but also like a bit of an effort, but not too much. And I just trusted that no matter what, even if he wasn't the one, and he wasn't the one, that God would make it count. God would bring fruit out of it. God would make it something worthwhile. And he did. I mean, after all, I'm telling you about this story and it's helped me to encourage others to go on blind dates because I think the idea is so great and to just take a chance. And while he wasn't the one, I think we both left with dignity and a sense of peace and our confidence intact. So I think that's a win. So believe me when I say that I'm in the trenches with you, I'm going on these blind dates. I'm actually going to try speed dating for the first time as well, ever. So a lot of firsts for me. But talking about first, let's dive into how to make a good first impression. And this is something that I hope will help you across all avenues of your life, not just in dating, but also in making new friends and networking for work and all kinds of ways that we're just trying to relate to people and up our social skills and our confidence. Number one is to start with presence, not performance. Before you walk into the day or into the speed dating room, whatever it is, take a minute and breathe and ask God to help you show up as yourself, as the person he made you to be. Nothing more, nothing less. Authenticity and being genuine is magnetic. Number two is to dress for who you're becoming. They say dress to impress, and I would completely agree with that. Of course, you want to dress in a way that reflects your dignity. So don't force it. Don't be something you're not. But if you are trying to make more of an effort, whether it comes to tidy grooming or amazing tailoring or beautiful modern but modest wear something that's going to be nice and that's going to make it look like you've made an effort and that you care about your appearance, because there's something about someone who cares about their appearance often cares about multiple things in their lives. It just shows that they are intentional about the choices they make, whether that is fashion or lifestyle, and it does really reflect. Number three is to ask meaningful questions. I don't know if anyone actually is good at small talk or if anyone actually likes small talk, but the whole, so what do you do, is a little bit cliched and it's a little bit boring, and it also just puts someone's value on what they do rather than who they are. So I would suggest a few other icebreaker questions, such as, what's something you've learned lately? What would you do on your ideal Sunday? What are you passionate about that not many people know? What's your secret talent? What's something that might surprise me about you? So I would answer that one by saying that I actually love gaming. I don't have that much time to do it anymore, but I love Mario Kart, Mario World. I used to be big into Final Fantasy. So anyway, that's something that might surprise people. Or that I have a big dog. People often think that I have a little dog. When I say I've got a dog, they assume a little Chihuahua or sausage dog. And no, I've got a 22-kilo girlie. So just answering questions like that, it's just surprising, it's fun, it piques people's interests, and it's also a good conversation starter. And remember that the goal isn't to impress that person, it's to connect with them. So you want to try to get that connection through whatever it is, whatever interests you have, or wherever the conversation's gonna go. If it's the right person, you will connect with them. Number four is to be curious, not self-conscious. Yes, your mind will want to spiral. Do I look okay? Was that joke funny? But interrupt that internal spiral. and turn your attention outward. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this person? And remember that people actually remember how you made them feel, not your job title, not your outfit, not your theology, and not what you do for work. So shift your focus, ask good questions, listen like you mean it, and try to make them feel really comfortable and like they're having a good time, because that's what they're going to remember. And 5, keep it light but rooted in values. Yes, you can flirt a little if you feel comfortable, but let your peace, your values, and your self-respect do the heavy lifting. Be yourself. Smile. Laugh. Give them a compliment. And just trust that the Holy Spirit really is going to guide you and is going to help you in this conversation and this interaction. And for some bonus special tips for speed dating or blind dates, remember to smile. Be kind to everyone, even the ones you're not attracted to. Don't overthink your opener. A simple hi, what's something that made you smile today will suffice. If you ask me this, I will most probably say a cute dog or something nature or animal related. Just remember that you're meeting souls, you're not meeting profiles, like you're meeting an eternal soul who was made in the image and likeness of God. And even if you're not attracted to them, even if nothing is going to come out of it, you should treat that person with respect, with kindness, with dignity. Lower the pressure. The goal isn't to meet the one, it's to grow in discernment and confidence and to just get to know people. It's so funny because I actually am co-hosting a speed dating event with a friend, and I said to him, I was like, oh, because he said that there was a shortage of men over the age of 34 for the event. And I was like, okay, we'll try and fill those spots. And I was like, what if one of those spots is my husband? And he was like, not the right approach, Delphine. And I was like, okay, correction. What if one of those spots, what if one of those guys is a guy I'm gonna have a really lovely 2-minute chat with? And he was like, yes, that's better. Because you're not gonna put too much pressure on it. And when we do go in with that attitude of, is this my husband? Is this my husband? A, that's a desperate energy. B, that's way too much pressure. And C, you're kind of objectifying that person. Instead of seeing them as a human, you're seeing them as a potential to your vocation, to your state in life. And it can actually be quite objectifying, even if you don't see it that way, because they're not a sexual object, but you're making them into this object of like idolatry. You know, it's like marriage and family is like the goal, and they're going to help you get there, rather than just getting to know them and being open to conversation and just having a nice time with someone. Remember to go in curious and grounded. You're not here to impress anyone. You're here to witness other people's stories, another person's story, and to see if you might be aligned. Remember to keep expectations low and your heart open. And if it's a no at the end of the date, you don't owe anyone an explanation, but you do owe every single person courtesy, politeness, clarity, and dignity. So be kind. And now let's end with what not to do. 1, don't trauma dump. This is not the place for trauma bonding. You are not lying by keeping it light. Vulnerability has a time and a place, of course, but not for the first date. Number 2, this is a big one. Don't treat the date like a job interview. And I say that for both sides, because I can do this thing where I almost feel like I'm trying to impress the other person. I'm like, pick me, look at all the things I've achieved and all the things I can do. And it's not genuine. Like, it's still placing that value on like do, and we're not human doings, we're human beings. So it's like, just be with that person. Remember that you're not assessing a CV. You're meeting a whole person, so let the conversation flow. Number 3 is to not ignore your gut. Don't ignore that gut feeling. If something feels off, don't over-rationalize it. Remember that peace is the fruit of the Spirit, so cling to that. I've definitely been there where I've not felt that peace. I've felt this pit in my stomach, but I've tried to over-rationalize it, explain it away. And honestly, I have to say, the more I trust my gut and the more I listen to my gut, the more I become in tune with my own intuition and understanding what means what. So definitely, pray it into it, see what could be the devil trying to distract you and what is actually just not a fruit of the Holy Spirit. Number 4 is don't fake it until you make it. Do not fake who you are. If you're nervous, just say so. It's kind of endearing. If you really love Jesus, don't downplay that. If you have some really strong opinions about things, it's okay to say that. And if you're not into them, remember to be gracious and honest about it. You don't need to pretend. Number 5, don't flex. Bragging about XYZ is the opposite of being humble, and humility is such a beautiful virtue that we should try to lean into. And really, it should be our presence, our actions that should speak loudly, not just our words, because it's so easy for any of us to speak ourselves up, right? And to be our biggest cheerleaders, but we need to show what we're about. Number 6, don't talk to impress, talk to bless. People want to be seen, they want to be heard. So, you know, whatever happens at the end of the date or the interaction with this person, make sure that they feel that they were seen, make sure they feel heard, you know, because that is a gift. That's a gift of an interaction. And we should all be giving each other that gift all the time, to really be present, to maintain eye contact, to ask questions, to have an open heart, to be curious about the other person. And that's something we can offer whether or not this ends up being a romantic relationship or just a one-off conversation. And remember that you're not just looking for chemistry. Sometimes it takes chemistry a bit longer to come. They do say that for women, it can take up to 3 dates to kind of know if they have any physical attraction to someone. So instead, look for peace, look for aligned values, look for someone who's going to make you more Christ-like. First impressions aren't just about sparkle, they're also about substance. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any more questions or anything else you'd like me to deep dive into or reply to, please leave a comment, drop a question. I'd love to get back to you and just hear how you're feeling about it as well. And don't forget, my dating friends, my dating brothers and sisters, we are not behind, we are becoming, and God's timing and plan is perfect. As always, God bless, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.